Hey everyone, this is Mary from SVG Kits, and I'm here today with some brand new projects for weddings, for summer, anytime there's a wedding, or they could even work for beyond weddings too. So obviously the most remarkable part of this kit is this nice large 3-layer cake, and yes, the entire thing is paper, and it's almost 18 inches tall. So I've made a smaller cake before, but it was not quite at this scale or this much detail. So I've been thinking about this for a little while, and it was a lot of fun to come up with and put together. So the pedestal is obviously part of it, and all three of these boxes open up, so it could be a really nice centerpiece or a gift, like a gift box, a series of gift boxes. So your download also includes a plain top, so you could just make it plain, do whatever you want on the top. Or it also includes a baby caption, so if you wanted to turn it into a baby shower centerpiece or gift, you could do that too. And I think it would also be really cool to make it for someone's birthday, or congratulations, or whatever you have in mind, even for a holiday or something. So that is pretty straightforward to put together. I'll show you that in just a minute. Then we also have a nice large gift bag here, and I made the handles out of tulle, which I got from Michael's, just this 6-inch tulle, because I was shopping around in there, and tulle is always really pretty for wedding themed stuff, or anytime really. So I made the design a little different. It's actually shaped kind of interesting. The back is a little higher, so those kind of interesting details just make it a little more special. So again, you could use that for a wide variety of occasions. So I also wanted to come up with a nice, simple, and elegant card. So I just made it really simple and straightforward. But the cool thing is inside this pocket will perfectly hold, cash or a check, since that's the most common thing to bring to a wedding. So I think it's nice to just keep it simple and elegant and useful. So I hope that comes in handy too. So we also have a cute little berry basket. So the corners are kind of open on the inside, so you can kind of see through it a little bit. And super cute, could be a really cute favor, or just a little gift bag. And then finally, just a fun little decoration if you wanted to make a bunch of them and scatter them around tables at a wedding shower, baby shower, birthday party, any kind of color scheme you want to do. I think it would look really cute and festive. So the paper that I used this time is so beautiful. I just love all the gold foil accents on the paper, and as soon as I saw it online, I had to get it, and I couldn't wait to use it. I knew that I wanted to do something wedding with it, and I've had it for a little while now. So it's by My Mind's Eye, and it's called Fancy That, and it's just very pretty. I love all the gold foil and everything, and there are so many cool little embellishments and accessories that come with it. So of course I had to get all those. Maybe I will make something for an upcoming occasion with some of that stuff. So super cute. But like I always say, whatever kind of paper you want to use for your projects is going to look awesome for sure. So I've got all my pieces cut out to show you how these projects go together. So let's get started. So first of all, for the cake, the 3 layers of the cake are in separate folders called 1, 2, and 3. So the top layer is 1, the middle is 2, and the bottom is 3. So I have the bottom here. I'm going to put together the bottom layer, the number 3 bottom layer, and there is a little 3 cut out of all the side pieces, just in case you cut everything out at once and you get confused for which is which. They look kind of similar, so if you aren't sure, you can look at your pieces and it'll have the number of the layer of the cake right on there. So what you want to do is take all of the sides. In this case there's 4. The smaller the cake, the fewer sides there will be. So as you can see, there's 2 tiny little score lines right here, and that's just to help you line up where you are putting the next piece. Looks like I've got some brand new glue here. So you just want to go ahead and put some glue on that nice long tab, and then take any of the other pieces, it doesn't matter what order they go in, and glue that together. And then as it's drying, it's nice if you can kind of curve it a little bit because we want it to go in a nice circular shape. So if it dries flat, it's not the end of the world, but it will just curve more nicely if you help it along a little bit. So I'm just working my way down the entire side here of the box. Just doing the same thing there and curving it gently as it dries. So one more piece to add here. And then we can close it up the same way that we put it together on this final piece here. So again, I'm just lining it up with those two tiny little marks. It just helps you line it up better so that it's nice and straight. And now I want to fold over all of these little tabs all the way around. And then I'm going to take this piece here, which is the final part of the bottom, and I'm going to put a nice line of glue all the way around the edge. And then on top of some kind of scrap paper, if you would like to protect your table, we're just going to put that face down right inside of the sides that we put together. And everything is sized just so that it fits perfectly, and that circle shape makes the sides into a circle. So there is the bottom. And in your extras folder, if you want to put a bottom on this for some reason, you can find that in the extras folder. But since we're gluing it to the pedestal, there's really no reason for it to have a nice looking bottom. So next we can take a look at the lid, and here's the lid. It's going to go together the same exact way. There's 4 sides just like that with the number 3, and this is the top that you put inside just like we did before. But then an additional step is this goes right on the top, so that finishes it off for the lid. So then once your lid is together and you're looking at the top of it, you want to go ahead and glue this circle right in the center. And that adds a nice decorative touch, and it also helps you line it up when you put the next smaller cake on top to get it right in the center. So next, for the pedestal of the cake, there are 4 circles that are all the same size, and the only difference is on one of them there are some little tiny tick marks that help you place the bottom of the pedestal in the right place on the bottom. So this we want to go on the bottom. Other than that, these other circles are the same. And then we've also got some thin little sides. So there are 4 of these. And all we want to do is glue them together side to side. And there is, right here, there's a little small score line that you don't want to fold it. It's just there to help you align the 2 pieces properly. And it's the same for all 4 pieces. And it doesn't matter what order you glue them together in. You just want to glue all 4 of them together side to side. So there's 3 together. And as you can see, I'm kind of gently curving it a little bit so that it dries in a nice slightly curved shape. But if it dries flat, that's not the end of the world either. We just want to give it the best chance it has of curving nicely, since it's going to be like a flat disc shape. So I'm going to close it up like so, and again I'm just lining it up with that tiny little score line. And then I want to fold all of these over on one side. Doesn't matter which side, just fold them all over. And then we are going to put that down on your scrap paper, and then take one of your circles, not the one with the little design on it, just one of the plain ones, and I put a nice line of glue around the edge of that, and then I'm just going to carefully put that inside the sides that I put together. So once again, it's just sized just right so that it fits perfectly and it helps the sides take shape into a nice flat disc, circular disc. So the next thing I want to do before I forget is get my support pieces in place. So to do that, what I want to do is take this one first. There are 3 support pieces. This is one of them. And it doesn't need to look pretty. We just want it to take we want it to take its shape inside of this disc-shaped part of the pedestal, just to add some support. So I want to make sure it's nice and flat. And then I've got this piece here, and I'm just going to glue this right inside. Just somewhere about in the middle is great. And then I want to glue this piece to this piece. So technically I could just put glue on all of these tabs and just get it into place. That just came right off. So what you want to do is a few at a time, or if you're feeling confident, all of them at a time. It doesn't need to look nice. I'm going to go ahead and just put glue on all of the sides as well as here. And glue that into place. It's a tiny bit tricky, only because these sides want to come out a little bit. I probably should have folded them in a little harder, but that's okay. And I'm getting glue all over myself. That's okay. So like I said, it doesn't need to look pretty. No one's going to see it. We just want it to support our cake on the inside. So then you can go ahead and glue this inside your project that you've got already here. So the next thing I want to do actually is grab another one of the plain circles, and we want that to go inside. And I'm not gluing it down because I just want it to be in there to help hold the shape of the circle. So I am folding over all of these little teeth, little tabs, whatever you want to call them, and then I'm going to slide my glue underneath and get glue underneath those little guys down there. And got my circle coming out here. Okay, so we want these to be glued down, and before my glue is dry, I would just like to get some glue all over this so that I can put one of my circles on. So this is going to be the bottom. It could be the top or the bottom, it doesn't really matter. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and put a nice line of glue going all the way around the edge of my circle, and then some glue in the middle. And then I want to carefully place this right onto what I've already got going on down here. So you obviously just want it to be centered and all those little tabs to be folded over. And there we go. So at this point, if you feel like you would like to trim off if the edges are sticking out anywhere a little bit, you can always trim that off with some precision scissors, and you could even sand it with a little bit of sandpaper if you wanted to do that. So the next thing I'm going to do is just glue this final circle into place, which is the top of this disc shape. And then this gets glued right into the center, and that also helps you place your next layer right in the center as well. So next, for the center of the pedestal that it stands on, there are 8 sides. So there are 8 identical pieces like this, and you want to fold them all so that they look like this with all these little tabs folded over. And then what you want to do is put glue on all of these little side tabs. And then grab another piece. And again, they're all identical, so it doesn't matter which one you glue to which one. And you want to start at the bottom with that first one, and then work your way up one tab at a time, gluing each one into place. And you want to make sure it's lined up as nicely as possible. And work your way all the way up to the top. So I probably could have taken my time a little bit more, given each one a chance to dry a little bit before I move on, but you get the idea. So you want to go ahead and do that with all 8 pieces. So here are all 8 of my sides glued together, and then the next thing you want to do is carefully put some glue around all of these tabs, going all the way out to the edges, and then put your bottom into place and let that dry a little bit. Then you can flip it over and do the same exact thing on the top here and glue that into place. And then you can take a look at the bottom here. If you look really closely, you can see the outline of exactly where this is going to go. So let's pretend that I glued mine into place. You're just going to take that, put glue all over this, and just carefully center that using those little guidelines onto the bottom. Then finally, for the little trim around, you just want to glue this. It doesn't need to line up with these little edges here. See how it meets together every so often. It doesn't need to line up there, just glue this around and work your way around with all 4 of these pieces. until you get to the end. And if you have a little extra, you can always trim it off with some precision scissors. So for the top layer of the cake, if you're doing it like this or if you're doing the baby caption, they both work the same way. I went ahead and glued this gold layer onto the front, and there's an identical white piece, like these two are the same. So what you want to do is glue them together, just not these bottom tabs. So I got the center, I have some glue in the center of the flower, and then some glue all over it. You can be a little more meticulous and careful if you would like. And then you just want to glue that together, just one on top of the other, so it's nice and thick and stable. And then you can offset this a little bit with a glue dot or something. And then it fits right through these little holes in the top panel of the cake. And then all you want to do is glue these open, kind of like brads. And then you can stick that right on top of your cake. So for the flowers that go on the cake, as well as the flowers on the other projects, they go together the same way. Some of them are a little larger, some are smaller, some have fewer parts, but what you want to do is start with, they all have this little funny star-shaped one that's first, and then you want to put them in order basically from smallest to largest. And then what I did was I took just a pen like this, something that's nice and rounded on the end. Actually, I used a Cricut spatula to do it for my projects before. And what I've got here is an upside down mouse pad. And this just happens to be like the world's largest mouse pad, but a regular one will do just fine too. So as you can see, I just kind of twisted it there in the middle. And then for these little guys, you just want to curve them around as best you can. And then for each of the petals on the flowers, you just want to pinch them in half. So I'm not really creasing them, I'm just kind of pinching them gently. And it doesn't need to be perfect. It's kind of cool if they're a little bit messy because it looks more realistic, I think, if it's not perfectly identical. Each one is a little different. So as you can see for these larger ones, I'm pinching it, but I'm also bending it forward. And that's what you want to do with all the larger pieces. And then all we're going to do is put them together from smallest to largest. And you can just use one brad, but that kind of has a tendency to flatten it out. So as you can see, I kind of used the brad to curve it up a little bit. And then I'm going to use a second brad. And then it would even be cool to use a third one here. But I'm just going to go ahead and put these all together, except for the last one. And then in between each one, you don't have to do it this way, but I think these dots, they're like 3D glue dots. I like to use them a lot because they're nice and sticky and they create some nice dimension. So that brad on the inside there, no one's going to see, so if you wanted to use like a funky color that you don't think you're ever going to use, you could do that. So there is our flower. So next for our gift bag, I've got the front here, which has a flap on it, and then the two sides. And you can see that this side clearly goes here because it's the right size. So I'm going to carefully put some glue on this tab, nice and close to the edge, and glue that side into place. And then put some glue on this other side tab and grab the back and glue that into place. Nice and easy. I'm sure you could figure that out. And then some glue on that side tab and glue the other side into place. And as you can see for these sides, there's a valley fold in the center of each side. And then I'm going to close it up with some glue on that final side tab. And glue that into place. So next we can flip it over and put some glue. You can either put glue on all these at once or just start with one to anchor it, and then you want to take, there's two bottom pieces. One is slightly larger than the other one. That one you're going to glue into place on the bottom, and mine's a different paper because I ran out of this floral paper. And then once that is glued into place, you can glue the smaller one inside to finish it off, and then you can also glue this interior back piece into place just to strengthen up the bag. Next, for our Rosette Tealight lantern, it's all just one piece here mostly, and we can go ahead and glue it closed like this. And with this black paper, it's like the glue really shows if you get a little messy with it. Not that it has to be black, but of course. So then what you want to do is put glue on each of these little sides and glue the top into place. And once that's together, you can fold this little square down and glue that into place, as well as the bottom. You can put glue on all three of these and glue that into place. And then for our little rosette in the middle, there are three pieces that look like this. They're pretty similar, but each one is a little different. So I just glued the side tab into place, and then I'm gluing these two tabs into place. So you want to go ahead and do that for all three parts. And like I said, they're shaped a little different, but they're going together the same way. And you can, of course, take your time and be more careful if you would like. But on the other hand, if it's a little messy, it's kind of cool. Kind of gives it some character. So the one that I have in my hand is the larger one. And that one's going to go on the bottom. And then the next biggest one goes in the center. Kind of offset it a little bit so it looks more like a rose. And then the smaller, taller one goes right in the center, like so. So then you can just turn it sideways and stick it inside. Get some glue underneath it and put it inside there. It does fit right in there, and you can put your little tea light candle inside. And then for these little panels, you just want to fold it here and just glue all four sides into place as well as the top. So finally, for our little berry basket, it is mostly just one piece here, and then there are two trim pieces, and we do want to gently fold each little score line. Doesn't need to be a sharp crease, just a gentle little fold is perfect. And then I'm going to put some glue on the side tab there. And you want to make sure that they're both going the same way, like it's kind of curved down a little bit, which I don't think you can't really mess that up, but you do want to make sure that they're going in the same direction. Then you know you got it right. And since this paper is shiny, it takes a little longer to take hold. And it also shows every little dot of glue that's not, it's coming out. So if you are using this very shiny paper, you will have to be more careful than me and maybe wash the glue off your hands. So there is the band, and this is going to go right on top of our cute little box. So I'm going to put some glue on one of these long sides and glue that into place right behind that segment of the band. And the same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing on these two sides and glue those right into place, just like we did. Then you can go ahead and affix your little handle with some brads, and then put your flowers on. And like I showed you for the larger flowers, these go together the same exact way. So there you have it, really nice projects for weddings and beyond. I hope you love making them, and if you do, you'll have to share a picture on our Facebook wall or on Instagram and do hashtag SVG Cuts, or on your blog, or pin it on Pinterest. However you want to share it, we always love seeing your projects, and so do the rest of our crafty friends. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time, and happy crafting.